because you've said something once, do you actually think that it's sunk in and you should never, ever, ever say the same thing again? That seems to be the overall marketing strategy of some law firms, and I'm not convinced it's a very good plan, so we're going to talk about that. My name is Chris Hargraves, your name is whatever your name is, and you can find me and my stuff at knownlikedandtrusted.com.au. Today we're talking repetition. There's a half decent chance I've said this before, and you know what? I haven't actually even gone back and checked, because it is okay to say the same thing more than once. Now, there are some provisos and some caveats to that particular statement, including I don't necessarily think literally just saying the same thing over and over and over again is necessarily a fantastic strategy if you only have one thing to say, but there are certainly people out there who have made decent names and decent livings and built decent companies based on what is effectively a single premise. So even then, I might in fact be proven wrong by the fact that there are one-trick ponies out there doing very, very well for themselves. They might have 150 videos, an enormous $500 million company, which admittedly isn't enormous, but it sounds like a heck of a lot of money to me. And they really just have one message about, hard work, or 10x if you're Grant Cardone, or atomic habits, or whatever the situation is. Maybe they just want us all to go and be stoics. And that's really their messaging, whether we know that or not. It doesn't really matter what the case is. My point is, it's okay to have a theme that you stick on. If you have a sweet spot, if you have a practice area, if you have a message, if you have one thing that does well, it's actually okay to preach to the choir a few more times. Don't think that just because you've got your sort of magnum opus over here, magnum opus, whichever one that is, your main work, that you can't actually say the same thing over and over again, because there are a few reasons that it can actually be helpful for you to do so. Firstly, publishing something once and expecting everyone to see it the first time is a mug's game, and it almost never happens, simply because of the way algorithms work, but also because people just don't always read stuff the first time. Secondly, even if people have read something or listened to something or seen something that you've said, it doesn't mean they have necessarily properly grappled with, internalized, or understood what you were trying to say. You might need to approach it from a few different angles. And if you need any sort of support for that, then look at any child on the face of the earth and how many times it's necessary to remind them about a particular routine that you would like them to start adopting. You got to approach it multiple times on occasion for it to sink in. The next is, of course, that if you are delivering genuinely helpful information, sometimes people need a reminder about the details, and they need you to drill down into bits and pieces here and there so that they can actually get a more full understanding. But sometimes they also just need a bit of encouragement, a reminder that, oh yeah, I should be doing that thing, I should be getting on with that, oh yeah, that's right, I did commit to changing this or modifying that or acting in that way or embracing topic X, and they haven't yet got around to doing it. So it can be a good nudge in the right direction. So rather than embracing this idea that I've said it once, I should never have to say it again, let's live in the real world where there are a finite number of things that you have to say, and staying on theme, on topic, and on point is actually not the worst thing in the world to do. At the very least, you will be consistent. If you are trying to develop a name for yourself in a particular area, just going absolute repetition, hammer and tong on that area is not in fact the world's worst thing. I know we're afraid of people going, wow, does that guy actually have anything else to say, or is she ever going to shut up about that particular topic? But at the very least, they take your name and that topic and they've put them together in their heads, and that is sort of half the battle. You have become known, and if you're delivering the right kind of content, then you can probably tick off a degree of likability and a degree of trust in there as well. So don't be afraid of the repetition. It's actually probably a good thing. Don't get bogged down with, did we write an article on a similar thing? If it's identical, sure, approach it from another angle, find another spin, have another way to say the same thing, develop useful content, and just keep putting stuff out there, because that's the association you want people to make. Now go and do that. Say something repetitious. I dare you. And I'll see you next time.